2019, the year the media went off the rails, the whoppers, mistakes, and doozies that the media made. Now, the Beltway echo chamber claimed big bombshells that never happened. Members of the media, are they planting the seeds of their own irrelevance? Because it's getting pretty cold up there on the moral high ground. Let's bring in former FBI Deputy Assistant Director Danny Coulson. Danny, your reaction?
Oh, my goodness. It's a giant propaganda machine now. It's very little reporting. They are propagandizing what they want to happen, and then they sit back and hope it does happen. And it's not. They're losing their credibility, and it's fine with me. I don't watch most news except for your network and Fox, the regular Fox channels. So I think nobody cares about them anymore.
Yeah, remember
I think that's
this.
Appropriate.
Let's show how the media went off the rails on the Mueller report, predicting a bombshell and impeachment. Watch this.
Bombshell.
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 A big bombshell today. There was a big bombshell. Pretty big bombshell.
Bombshell.
There's a bombshell revelation in this testimony.
It's a revelation. Anytime they use the word bombshell, they're trying to change public opinion. We know the Mueller report was delivered a dud to the media. More mistakes from media pundits, predictions like by the end of 2019, Nancy Pelosi would be U.S. president, Beto O'Rourke is going to be the next president, that Mueller will reveal that the Trump campaign got millions of dollars from Russia, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar, on and on and on. Your reaction to all that?
It's all wishful thinking. That's what they want the news to be. And these bombshells, always low order, they don't go. And I think after a while the public says, I'm out of this. I've lost it. It's just like the impeachment inquiry. They promised all these things, and none of it showed up. Okay. And I think we're talking about relevance and whether or not we care.
Watch the media say, yes, a recession is around the corner. Watch this.
How close to recession are we?
A key predictor of recession is now flashing. Is the American economy growing for more than a decade now, suddenly at risk of stalling, even tipping into recession?
This issue, which could spell economic disaster for America eventually, meaning a recession.
Okay, recession never happened. Watch the media help Jussie Smollett amplify his own fake hate crime that Smollett committed on himself. Watch this.
This is America in 2019.
Chicago police are doubling down on this case.
Jussie Smollett from the hit show Empire was attacked and beaten.
Smollett is also black and gay, which may have been the motivation for an alleged attack.
They are looking for two suspects who were apparently wearing Make America Great Again hats.
The suspects yelled, "This is MAGA country."
Okay, and then there was CNN having on as a frequent guest Michael Avenatti. They talked about him, media talked about him as running for president. He's been arrested and indicted. Your reaction to all of that?
Well, again, it's wishful thinking and very, very bad reporting. They report rumors. They don't find out what really happened. And I think the thing about the economy, that was intended to drive the economy into recession. If you get people believing we're going to have a recession, you will have a recession. And I think that was all. I think it was an activism thing more than a reporting thing. And again, it gets back to credibility, and it's kind of a shame.
You're talking about driving down consumer confidence. I want to talk about this. The media also said over the last 3 years that discredited Steele dossier was true and corroborated. Watch this.
Of course.
The dossier has been corroborated by the intelligence community.
The dossier, in fact, is far from bogus.
Increasingly, it's the accurate dossier.
So far, nothing in the dossier has been disproved.
The Steele dossier just rings true to me. What about Christopher Steele, the MI6 guy, the ex-MI6 guy, who did the famous dossier, which is getting a lot more credibility now than it did?
There was no such wiretap activity.
We've heard from the intelligence community and from many others that there was no wiretapping of anybody in the Trump campaign.
Okay, this was all wrong. There was no pushback, still no corrections on camera saying, hey, we got it wrong. The DOJ IG popped the media's Trump dossier bubble, quoting even Steele's own sources saying Steele was misleading, exaggerating. The dossier was built on hearsay, just talk, said in jest. I mean, this is what launched the Trump-Russia probe. Remember, it started as a counterintelligence probe, and then it became a Trump-Russia probe. Rachel Maddow has been emphatic in saying it's correct. Nicole Wallace saying it's correct. Your reaction to all of that?
Well, James Comey said it wasn't correct, and that was before Mueller even got off the ground. So we knew it was a lie. My question, though, is when Mueller found out all this information, Why did he go ahead with the Trump investigation for over 2 years? If he knew it was salacious, if he knew the beginning was based on bias, then why go forward with it and waste, millions of dollars and 2 years of time with the President of the United States? It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, to your point, we've got 11 House Democrats sending a letter to William Barr and U.S. Attorney General William Barr and John Durham demanding they both resign. Some of the co-signatories are Jan Schakowsky, Frank Pallone, and Steve Cohen. I want to move on to this. Former FBI official Lisa Page tweeting out this head scratcher, quote, "There was no insurance policy." Danny, Lisa Page had gone on with Rachel Maddow saying, yeah, there was one. I think we've got the soundbite there. Let's roll it.
Talking about whether or not we should take certain investigative steps or not based on the likelihood that he's going to be president or not, right? You have to keep in mind, if President Trump doesn't become president, the national security risk, if there is somebody in his campaign associated with Russia, plummets. You're not so worried about what Russia's doing vis-a-vis a member of his campaign if he's not president, because you're not going to have access to classified information. You're not going to have access to sources and methods in our national security apparatus. So the insurance policy was an analogy. It's like an insurance policy when you're 40.
Okay, so how's Lisa Page now saying there was no insurance policy? She tweeted that out.
Well, there's a very famous country western song, and the lyrics go like this: "Are you going to believe me or your lying eyes?" And I think that's the tune she's singing here. We know what we see. We see the context that she made that statement in. We see the entire conversation between her and Peter Strzok, and what she is saying is just not true. And I think she's harming herself. If I were her lawyer, I'd say, get off of TV, stay home, and let's make a proffer and get this thing handled.
Yeah, and stay off Twitter. Danny, I want to just close it out. Rachel Maddow in that interview said, quote, "So don't just hope that Trump is not going to be elected and therefore not press forward with the investigation hoping, but rather press forward with the investigation just in case he does get in there." And Lisa Page said, exactly. The Trump-Russia probe was the insurance policy. Quick final word, Danny, and we got to go.
She's absolutely right about that. She told the truth. The insurance policy was the investigation.
Danny Coulson, come back soon. Love having you on.
Thank you.